This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. As most of you probably know, Hurricane Matthew has already wiped through Haiti. It's heading towards the United States of America. A lot of fear, a lot of panic around it. It's a very big hurricane. So prayers for anybody out there who's affected by this hurricane and people down in Florida and, in the southern area of America who may be affected by it. Prayers for your safety and protection for your family. I wanted to do a story on this because this has kind of gone somewhat viral. The New York Post has even picked up on this. And this is the kind of stuff, that really gets under my skin because it really discredits truthers. It really discredits people out there who are trying to expose the truth. And instead of talking about things like HAARP and weather control and, how they can control the weather and manipulate it to use it as a weapon, which I believe they did in Katrina and other events that we've seen around the world, specifically in the United States of America. Instead of talking about stuff like that and praying for victims out there, people find these ridiculous stories out there. So now apparently there's a story running rampant that Hurricane Matthew is really a satanic demon because of an image that was paused, a still shot of the hurricane, looked like a demon face. Now, if you look at it, of course, you can look at that and make it out to be a demon face or a skull, or some people are saying a clown with an eye and a mouth. But it's ridiculous that people are actually out there pumping that this hurricane is really a demon. Oh, it's a demonic cloud. Look at this. It's a demonic hurricane. That's what they want. Those are what shills actually are in the truther movement. People that take stuff like this and find demons in everything, claim every single person is a reptilian or a demon just for the sake of you going and listening there to not only to create panic and fear, but to completely discredit the movement. That's what the shills really are, and who they really are people that just continually do this stuff. Now, this is an image. This isn't a real picture. This isn't really going on. This is a computerized image that they infrared to bring up and make this image, right? So they claim that NASA takes the shot from above and filters it down. And then the National Weather Center puts it through an infrared thing, and then boom, right there they have that one shot, which they've deliberately paused in that shot. That's why the New York Post picks it up, and other outlets have picked it up, because they need to discredit truthers however they can. I've talked about how they're doing the Progressive commercial, the Pizza Hut commercial, all this stuff. They are going out of their way to make a mockery of people who expose the truth. They know they have to bring stories like this out. And if people, give into this stuff and start making videos or start doing whatever, writing articles about a demon hurricane, that the hurricane's really a satanic demon, then they're doing what the elitists want, and they're discrediting the movement, because people out there hear that, they just start cracking up and they laugh and they discredit. I can look up at the sky and see a cloud, and you could stare at it long enough and you can make it out to be whatever you want. You could say that cloud looks like a potato. You could say that cloud looks like a clown. You could say that cloud looks like a plane. You could say that clown looks like a helicopter. I mean, whatever you want to make up, if you stare at something long enough, you can make it be something. Right? You could stare at a cloud, and if a cloud actually has the face of a demon, which people do, right? And they upload pictures. Look at this cloud. It looks like a demon. Does that mean that the cloud is an actual demon? That the cloud is going to fly down into your living room and eat you? Okay? It's a formation of a cloud. Of course, I believe in spiritual warfare, and I believe this stuff is going on, as all of you know who listen to this channel. But you can't take it so far. You can't get extreme to the point where you look like a lunatic, because that's what discredits the movement. That's what makes people, they'll hear some stuff you say about the election and about what's going on in the race war, and they'll say, you know what? I'm starting to believe what you're saying about this race war. Now I'm seeing movies come out about this race war, which you've been talking to me about for months, and now I'm seeing that you're right. They really are pushing this, and they're really, if they wanted to stop it, they wouldn't be releasing these movies. They wouldn't constantly be egging it on. So I'm seeing what you're saying, and then you come out and you talk about demons in clouds and reptile faces and people shape-shifting when there's no real evidence of it. Somebody's eye going one way or the other and then going crazy and saying, oh, it's really a demon. Now, are a lot of these people demon-possessed? Of course they are. But how, you could take these things and you can manipulate it. That's what the elitists want, because it discredits truthers and makes us all look insane. So does this hurricane look like a potential demon, a clown demon or a demon face? Yeah, if you stare at it, you can see it when they point it out to you. But they deliberately pause it on this shot. If you ever watch the Weather Channel, these things just keep moving. They deliberately pause it there and create stories like this because they know that people will pick up and run with it, and then they can use it to discredit the movement, because that's what matters most to them. There's not could there be a demon in the hurricane? I don't know. Could it be a demon hurricane? I would be pretty doubtful that it is, because there are some real things that occur. But if people want to talk about theories involving this hurricane and how massive it is, they should be talking about potentially HAARP and potentially, CERN and being able to control weather. We know that weather warfare has been going on for a long time. John F. Kennedy talked about it. before his assassination, he was talking about how, years from now, we're going to be able to manipulate the weather and use it as a weapon. So those are things, if you want to talk about it and say, yeah, but you aren't going to be able to really prove much of anything. You could look at some of the things leading up to it, like Katrina, that were very suspicious with how they kind of knew it was coming and let it go, and all that stuff involving George Bush, and obviously what they targeted, and then the stuff that went on with the oil. I mean, there were so many things that went into it that made you think possibly that they created this hurricane, they let it happen, they wanted it to happen, that it was, deliberately, strategically planned. Something like this, you can't prove that, they're trying to use HAARP for this. It could be a real actual hurricane, and so you can't go crazy about stuff like this. But to say the hurricane is really a demon, a satanic demon coming to destroy America and Southern, it gets insane. It really does. I believe in spiritual warfare, but it's really important that we don't go over the top, we don't go crazy, because when you talk about waking people up, and the majority of you message me and say, I'm trying to wake up my parents, or I'm trying to wake up my girlfriend or my boyfriend, and they have a tough time believing it. This is the kind of stuff that makes them roll their eyes and not want to get involved in, hearing about propaganda and mind control and how it works, hearing about how they, push these events and these things like the race war, the gay agenda, the transgender agenda, all this stuff, the fake elections, all these things, they push them through the media to get to, the agenda that they want, the outcome that they want. And people start to hear that stuff, and they do start to wake up. But when stuff like this comes out, it gets insane. Can you see a demon face in it? Possibly, but I can look up at the cloud right now, and I could say, wow, that looks like a demon. What does that mean, though? What does it mean? Somebody else, it might look like something different, right? Or I want to take a picture of it and say, look, there's a demon cloud. The world is ending today. This is the kind of stuff that goes on. And remember, you have to take anything that goes on with stuff like this with a grain of salt, because they claim, that these are pictures from NASA. NASA sends it down from their satellites to the weather center, and then they use infrared, things on it. So as if it's actually an image of the storm itself from above. If there's people out there that don't believe the satellites are real and things like that. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm not going to get deep into that and about NASA. Obviously, there's a lot of things I don't, I have no faith or believing in NASA and what they do and what they claim to accomplish. I don't believe that the moon landing was real, and I'm not going to get into deep detail about the satellites and if these images are actually real or not. But remember, they can slow this down. They can pause it, okay, to make it at that specific spot. And then they can get people, they know how mind control works. So they know how to send this message out. They have the New York Post picking up on it. Other, major media outlets have picked up on it. And they go, is this a demonic hurricane? Is there really a demon in it? What do you think the masses out there do? You think they sit there and go, it's really a demon? Or do you think they start laughing and go, these conspiracy theory people, these Christians are out of control. They're crazy. Now, if you want to see this and believe to yourself that it looks like a demon, that's fine. You don't have to go crazy about it and go, oh, look, all you got to do is just look at it and you can go, oh, it looks like a demon. But to run around and be like, it's a demon. There is a demon in this hurricane. It is a satanic demon coming to America. It's so ridiculous. It's so discrediting. It's so shill-like. It's pathetic is what it is. So don't give in to stuff like that. Don't see that and go, oh my goodness, it's really a demon, and get all panicky or scared about it. It's just an infrared image. And when you put things through infrared images, you could see anything. It's like an ink blot. Okay, you could see what you want to see. It's all about your mind and how it interprets things. But like I said, this is the kind of stuff. Don't go around telling your friends that the hurricane is really a demon. Oh, look, because they're going to look at you like a lunatic. That's what they're going to do. And if you want to wake people up, you have to stick to things that are real and legit. And you're not going to be able, you can have theories on things. Sometimes there's things you can't really prove, right? Everybody goes through these events that occur, and so a lot of people say it's a false flag. Other people say it's a hoax. And then they fight amongst each other and say, well, there really was murders there. How dare you say it's a hoax? But at the end of the day, neither one can really prove anything. All they can do is just look at all the evidence that's presented through, television and the stuff that they release and form an opinion on it. But you'll never know until life's over, right? If those people really died or not, if God shows us these things, or however it would work out. But you would never really, really know. But stuff like this, to take it, to run with it, to claim that the hurricane is really a demon forming, and it's unbelievable stuff, because this is the stuff I talk about. It gets linked into truthers, conspiracy theories, all that stuff. They want stuff like this. They want stuff like the Sasquatch. They want that stuff linked with conspiracies against the government. So if you're talking about something like your vote not counting, and then pointing to all these signs of the election and how it's not real, and pointing to all the signs of the race war and how they're manipulating it and how they're creating it, and then people mix, you have the news and you have, commercials and all this stuff, and people out there who claim to be truthers or, conspiracy theorist people, talking about Sasquatches in their backyards, have the TV shows hunting for Sasquatch, have the hurricane looking like a demon. You link that together. What do you think people are going to do when you start talking about the race war and how it's manipulated and how it's something that they've created? They're going to go, oh, give me a break, because they're already discrediting you because they lump all this together. So if you speak up against this stuff and say, let's question it, let's talk about it, but they're lumping all of this insanity in there and all this real, fear propaganda and panic propaganda about, oh my goodness, look at this. No, my goodness, there's a demon here. Oh my goodness, people are shape-shifting right before our eyes just because, their eye might move one way or another. And I'm not saying that there's not people who are demonically possessed and stuff like that. But obviously there's people that go out of their way to point this stuff out, and it completely throws the movement off. It completely embarrasses all of us who are trying to look at this stuff, look at these things like the clown thing that's going on and not saying, oh, there's all these clowns. Are they demons manifesting? I believe there's demons manifesting. I believe that stuff is all true. But you can't, there's not even proof that the clown thing's really going on. If it could be a complete psyop, because all these stories are coming up short. The people getting arrested are people who are calling it hoaxes. The rest of them, there's nothing to be found. But there's still people going around saying that, oh, the clowns are really demons. It's like it's the end of the world. You have to just, take a deep breath sometimes. This stuff is going on. But you have to, you can't be insane about it. And you can't look at this stuff. You have to realize that they manipulate us too. They do stuff like this deliberately to mess with us. Not all the time. Not in these music videos that they pay millions of dollars for. But things like this, where they pause it, then the New York Post picks it up and says, is Hurricane Matthew a demon? And other people out there are screaming that it's a demon hurricane and it's the end of the world and, everything's going to get wiped out by a satanic hurricane. I mean, it just takes it to another level, and it completely turns people off from looking for the truth. It turns them away from it because they just laugh and roll their eyes and they go, this is getting ridiculous. They're not going to believe that demons and stuff exist if people continue to act like this, but they do it for their own advantage. People do this stuff because they get a lot of views on the videos. They don't really care about getting the truth out there. They care about just making stuff up on the fly. Now, you can have theories about things. I still believe, I've said it since I started my channel. I said it for years now. I still believe that Obama's staying in office, but I could be completely wrong. That's a theory that I have. That's what I believe. It's not a prediction. It's what I believe. But the stuff like this, when you're pointing things out, it's just ridiculous. It really, really is. So do I believe it's a demon? And people ask me if the hurricane's a demon. I do not believe that the hurricane's a demon. Do I believe HARP could be behind it, or CERN? Or, they could create these storms? Yes, I believe that they can do that. Do I have any evidence to point to this being that or an actual act of God? No, I don't have any evidence to say it's HARP, so I would assume that this is just, this is nature taking its course, right? This is something that's really happening. Hurricanes do happen sometimes. Events do occur, and we don't have to look at it and call it a demon hurricane. So prayers to the people who have already been affected by this hurricane, and prayers for people down in the south who are fleeing from Florida and southern states because this is projected to go there. Prayers for them, for their homes to be safe, their families, their animals, their pets to be safe. Hopefully everybody down there is okay. And hopefully this thing blows offshore and doesn't damage anyone or kill anyone or ruin anybody's lives. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you. May peace be with you.